everybody. Today we're talking with Kate, who was once a day camp lifeguard. She hates Brussels sprouts and loves chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. She quit her job to start her own business. She can touch her nose with her tongue, and she wishes she was from Ireland. Today, Kate is sharing about planning or attending a destination wedding. So welcome, Kate.
Hi, thank you, ladies. I'm so excited to talk about, well, anytime we can talk about weddings is a good day for me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So we're going to start our 7-minute timer.
Okay.
So the first question I have to ask is, where has been the most exotic or unique place you have attended a wedding?
So it might not fall into the category of exotic for most people, but it definitely felt that way as I was like climbing through the edge of a dune in a wedding that was up in, it wasn't quite northern Michigan, but it was on the coast of Lake Michigan. And it was so cool to be, it was a very meaningful spot for our couple. It was where they had grown up going to spend the summers.
Oh, nice.
But we literally were like climbing down a dune, and it just, it was really cool. Just, I love unique places.
Yeah, you hit that one on the nail. This is like the unique spot for sure.
Not exotic in the way people think about, the Caribbean beaches and Fiji and all of that, but fun nonetheless.
So that leads me to my question, which is, why do people decide to do a destination wedding? Like, what are some? It sounds like there was some memories here. Are there lots of other reasons why people do them?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons is because there is a pull to a certain area. In this case, the couple themselves were actually from Seattle. And so they really traveled to get back to this place where she had grown up. It was the same house her parents had rented like every summer. And it was just so cool to be there. So it's either something that's sentimental and meaningful, a location that means something to the couple, or often it's just that they want to have more than just like 5 hours on a dance floor. They want to make like a weekend of it. Maybe they don't get to spend a lot of time with their family, and so they want everybody to be able to just kind of like get out of their normal life and escape and celebrate together. So that's where you'll see usually the Caribbean type of destination weddings, where it's like, let's just all get out and go somewhere fun and do something together, and then we'll also get married while we're at it.
Yeah, why not? So my question is, what are some of the activities, or what do some of the guests do at these destinations? You kind of touched a little bit on, that they'll bring all their family and friends, but
absolutely. Yeah, so that is a key thing that you want to think about for anybody that's either thinking of doing a destination or attending, is making sure it's a place that has those activities for people to do, because unlike a normal wedding where people are all in the same area, you need to think about what you're going to do in those multiple days on either end. Most people, even if they aren't going to like a vacation spot, are probably going to take advantage of a flight or whatever and spend a couple of days there. So making sure that your location has some activities, which does mean your hosting duties are a little bit longer than they would be for like a one-day at-home event. Some of the things, I have one couple that unfortunately it was supposed to be this summer, their wedding, but we're moving things to next year. They really had the idea of doing something on like a campground. And we found a place, it's not a campground, but it has a lot of those activities. So their family can go kayaking, they're gonna have a bonfire one night. And they have all these other activities that they could do together if they want to, if they're able to come multiple days ahead. So it's definitely something to think about. And for those couples that don't want to think or take that responsibility on, I recommend finding a place that has it built in. So like a resort that has things that they can do on their own, but you're not responsible for arranging, is always a good way to go.
Right. And so then if we're going to a destination wedding, there's all kinds of stuff that I have to bring that I don't normally bring when I go on a vacation, right? So I have to bring gifts. I have to bring my suit or my dress. So bride is of course bringing a wedding dress. Are there packing tips or suggestions you have for people who need to haul all that gear along with them?
Yeah, always bring the dress. If we're talking to the bride, always bring the dress with you on the plane. We don't need that getting lost.
No.
So usually what I find, any kind of destination event, brides will typically opt for something that's a little bit more simple, not the elaborate, huge ball gown kind of a dress, which makes it much easier to travel with.
Right.
But anything that is super valuable, definitely travel with you. So the rings, any legal materials. So if you're actually getting married in the location, make sure you have all the paperwork on you and it's not, under the plane somewhere.
Right.
And then as far as the guests go, I usually recommend, obviously it depends on the location and where you're going, but make sure to provide a list to your guests of what they might need. So if you are in the Caribbean, for example, and you plan on scuba diving, things that they might want to bring for that. Or if it's going to be winter in northern Michigan, bring some, boots and mittens and
Right.
yeah, especially if the guests might not be as familiar with the area as you might be.
Okay.
Great. So what are some of your favorite locations or types of locations for destination weddings?
Yeah, I'm obviously from Michigan, and I think I love northern Michigan. I'm not sure if you ladies have been lucky enough to travel to northern Michigan and Mackinac Island.
Oh yeah.
But it is just such a cool vibe and a cool feel. Once you have to take a ferry to get out there. There's no cars, only horse and buggy and walking and bikes and all of that. And so it's a really cool removed location from like the hustle and bustle of everything. And for those of us here, it's nice because it's a car ride. It's not, flights
Right.
and all of that. But it is very tricky when it comes to some of the logistics. Your guests need to know that they're not going to have a car on site. They need to think about what they're packing because you're not putting it in the trunk of a car. You're loading it and unloading, you're riding your bike with it. That wedding cake needs to get from the ferry to the venue on a horse and buggy or, the back of a car trailer. So there's things like that you need to consider. But overall, it's just it's almost like you're kind of going back in time a little bit. And it's a really cool experience. It's a really cool experience and so much fudge. They have the best fudge. So that's another bonus.
They do. I was just there this fall and it was like the number of fudge shops. I'm like, how does everyone just eat fudge on the island?
It's so amazing. And the fall and anywhere up north in the fall is just amazing.
Yeah.
Is our 7 minutes? There we go.
That's the timer already.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's our 7 minutes. And
my gosh.
Yeah, northern Michigan is beautiful.
So
You're so
stunning,
correct.
yeah.
But thank you so much, Kate, for sharing your stories.
Thank you,
Cindy and I are just starting a new question and answer series. So for our listeners, if you have questions, please send them to us. The link is in the description, and travel with us through real stories from real people.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, ladies. It was great talking to you.